We need the affidavit. Show your cards. Merrick Garland can't have it both ways.
Was there unprecedented justification? That remains an open question, and we know exactly where to look, and that is the affidavit of probable cause.
I think it's very important long-term for the Justice Department, now that they've done this, that they show that this was not just a fishing expedition.
Some Trump allies are pushing DOJ to release more information about that Mar-a-Lago search. And let's be clear, that's a legitimate request for a court to hear. And a court will decide it, as we reported tonight. So that's what the adversarial process is supposed to look like. Other Trump allies, though, and top former staff are reaching for something else. Despicable attacks on American police and the FBI and the absurd but dangerous Nazi analogies from top Republicans. Take convicted Trump aide Steve Bannon literally claiming the FBI in America is now like, he says, like the Nazi secret police, known as the Gestapo.
They've turned into the American Gestapo. MAGA is a direct threat to the, wait for it, the American state. You said this quiet part out loud. We are a threat to the American state.
They arrest them, they put their families in jail. Donald Trump should be in any fear of the deepest of the deep state, maybe killing him?
I do.
We're in a revolutionary situation. It's out to destroy a particular person, Donald Trump.
Obstructing justice on what, you jerks? Stuff that you had planted on an investigation that you basically created out of whole cloth.
What they've been doing to President Trump is political persecution.
Much of that is not what valid debate looks like. It's lying and hateful rhetoric at this time of rising violence, targeting law enforcement, which Trump appeared to reference when he was recently caught sending a so-called message about the fire and the danger and the heat that he could turn up or down to Attorney General Garland. I want to bring in Asha Rangappa, a lawyer and former FBI special agent in the Counterintelligence Division, who knows all of these issues well. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Ari.
What do you see in that kind of rhetoric? And while it's easy to dismiss because people say it's fact-free, does it matter? Does it have consequence?
It absolutely has consequence, Ari, but I think we also need to analyze it as a strategy. So first of all, with regard to unsealing this affidavit, let's take that as an example. There are these calls for transparency that, this affidavit needs to be unsealed. One of the arguments the government is making is that the affidavit should not be unsealed because witnesses might be put in danger, right. If their identities are revealed. So when this rhetoric is escalating, that is encouraging, distrust, violence, attacks on law enforcement, these people are actually basically guaranteeing that the judge is going to, take that government argument very seriously. They're undercutting this idea of transparency. And I think that, they want that. They really don't want transparency. Transparency hurts them. Michael, in your previous segment, was describing kind of some of these tactics. It's information warfare. It is a strategy of basically shaping perceptions and how people think. And I think that creating a vacuum is where this rhetoric flourishes. And I think it's important to understand that because it means that they can weaponize aspects of our judicial system and process that operates in a particular way, with particular steps, keeping things, not transparent until certain stages. And we have to expect more of this to happen. And I think it puts Garland in a particularly difficult position in terms of moving forward as well.
Was the message the New York Times reported that Trump tried to personally send to Garland improper?
Yes, I think it was very improper. I mean, we know that he has zero firewalls between himself and the Justice Department. I think it was an act of desperation. But, his message, which was sort of offering to bring down the heat, as though that's something that, he wouldn't do normally, like he would need to be requested to do that, to me sounded like a veiled quid pro quo. We've seen that movie before, I hope you can see your way to letting this go. And I found those kinds of undertones in that. I mean, look, if you you're the former president of the United States. If people are committing violence or threatening violence, you should condemn it, period, as should all of, the people supporting him. And the fact that they're not really tells you that this is, I think, potentially a January 6th reprise of, you do what we say or we'll send our, lunatic army after you.
Lunatic army, yeah, at a time when you see the rhetoric over here, Trump over there, and then among some individuals, actual violence taken, crimes committed, attacks on law enforcement. So it's a serious time we're going to keep the scrutiny on. Asha, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.